Oh, that's a tough one. I'm not sure that hunches are so good. To say, oh, we clicked immediately, I don't know about that. Trial and error. I think it all comes down to your personal resilience. You make mistakes and you just pick yourself up and continue.
So we've got 7 people in the business. We've got shareholders and employees. So we're aiming to grow the business and create an assembly plant here in Scotland to build the product. But currently the supply chain is based over in China. So the knowledge and intellectual property is based here, but the manufacturing is currently based in China. And that's just pure economics. I would love to be able to make the product here in Scotland, and that is the vision for one day in the future. But right here, right now, it's a Chinese manufactured product.
Don't assume that the staff you're employing know everything that you know. A lot of people aren't as proactive as me. So if let's say they're in the shop, I could come back after being out with a group all day and not much has happened. I didn't ask them to do all these other things, but I would have expected them to be able to do it. So finding the right members of staff, once you've got them, try and keep hold of them, try and pay them well. They're all earning more than I am. So I think that's quite important.
So have you had to give an element of training to your staff?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And certainly with mountain biking, it's a dangerous sport. There's national governing body qualifications that you've got to have. You've got to have, first aid as well. People in the shop have got to have first aid. Everyone's got to be trained in how to deal with guests, both front of house and then if they're doing any paperwork side of things as well. So there is a certain element of training as well. They can't just sort of stroll into the job. And then having driving licenses for driving the uplift vehicles and so on. So there's quite a few different qualifications or training that people have to go through for various different things.
And are you willing to put them through that as part of the job, or you expect people to have that before they come?
I'm willing to do a certain amount, but there are qualifications that people want to get to help develop themselves so that they are more employable to other people, certainly because it's part-time and it's seasonal. People need to grab as much work as they can, and I can't provide it all. So if they've got qualifications, they can work in various different places. So I certainly encourage that.
It's funny because even in the workplace, there's times when we're just mates, and there are other times when we're very, very clearly in business mode. And I think we can very easily switch from one to the other. So it doesn't necessarily mean that when we're in work, we're always in work mode. There's the teasing, there's the kind of joshing that goes on all the time, I think.
It's not a conscious.
Yeah.
It's not a conscious switch. Yeah. It's just the natural. We just get on well.
Yeah.
And when have you had difficulties in terms of your friendship?
Well, there was that time.
No, I
don't think so.
No, I don't think so. And I mean, the shared passion that we have is climbing mountains. And it used to be because our little factory just looks right onto the Ochil Hills. When we first started, sometimes it could be quite late at night when we finished, but it was in the summer, we could still go off and sort of climb the Ochils. But that time just seems to have disappeared. So it's a shame. We both miss that. But we do, I mean, it was a couple of weekends ago, we managed to get up north and do a bit of hill walking up there.
And the Cairngorms, yes. It's great.
Yeah.
So you still want to go for walks together?
Yes, and we dream.
So the friendship is working.
We do dream
did the
about
West Highland Way together. So
yes,
that was,
and we did the 10
walking.
tops. But we made it the 11 tops and ended up getting lost in the mist and nearly getting hauled off by mountain rescue, but managed to get down on our own. But we also very often, when it's just a bit grim and unrelenting, we think about, doing some of these pilgrim trails and things like that abroad, which would be very lovely. Yeah.